Greetings, good afternoon and welcome to a sun-drenched Sydney Harbour for the penultimate race of the JJ Giltinan World 18-foot Skiff Championships, brought to you by the Winning Group. I'm Peter Shipway and we've got a lovely nor'easter today, and the question will be, can Smeg retain its lead at the top of the leaderboard and clinch the title today? That's what everyone is asking, and at the moment they are clear on the points table. I'll quickly run through the points for you. The top 10, Smeg, this is after 7 races. You can drop your worst performance. They have 11 points. Second is the Winning Group on 23 points. Then it's close. Third on 27 is Noak Sailing. Fourth, Shore and Partners on 29. Fifth, the Bird and Bear on 30. Then Andu on 31. Tech 2 on 36. Finport on 40, equal with Yandu, and the Oak Double Bay on 10. So can Michael Coxon win his second JJ Giltinan title this afternoon, or do we have to go into tomorrow where the conditions look fresh to frightening? Delighted to welcome today as our special guest, Tim Robinson. Tim won the title back in 1999, seems a long time ago, the first UK sailor to do so. So Tim, welcome today, and a quick overview of your career and what brought you to Australia and your victory in the JJs.
Well, thank you, and it must say very nice to be here. It really is an iconic day on Sydney Harbour. Nor'easter, lots of boats out, the old 18-footers, and it really is everything we ever dreamt of. I think when we started on our campaign to get here, which really began back in 1990, we came from a 14-footer background, so we started our skiff sailing in the smaller boats, but we'd always looked at the 18s as being the real peak of skiff sailing. So from our 14-footer days, which would have been in the late 80s, we then looked to Sydney particularly and really began a long road for that. So ours began in 1990, south of France, Sanary. I met Adrian Carlin down there. I met a 19-year-old David Witt, so that was 31 years ago. And we got introduced to them, and from there it was all about how do we get down to Sydney, how do we get down and compete against the Australians. And over that 9-year period we sailed B-18s, which Dave Ovington built up in the north of England. We had a small UK circuit, but everything was very much geared around how do we get down here, how do we learn to sail the boats, how do we learn about Sydney Harbour, which as we can see today is a bit of a minefield for those not used to it. The headlands, all the boats, the ferries, all the obstacles that we get. So it took us a few years, and I think in 1998 we ended up buying one of the league boats. So I think mine was the Tyrrell's Wine, which was renowned as being quite quick, and I think it had done well the year before. And we came down, we were 49ers sailing at the same time, so we'd done a lot of sailing, and I teamed up with David Witt and with Zeb Elliott. I was sailing with Zeb at the time, and 1999, yeah, it was a great year. We were sailing well, and we had a quick boat, and it all fell into shape with us. We had some interesting stories. David Witt was in charge of the sail program, which was probably an ambitious call, but anyway, being David, we went for the biggest sails we could. And biggest and flattest sails we could find, and that served us well. And it was a fantastic week, and really for me it was like the highlight of my whole sailing. I think because really from a very young age, I think I was 13 years old. I had a poster of Ian Murray on my wall at school, and sailing in Plymouth. And really from that moment, it was always planted in my mind that we would come to Sydney Harbour and we would come and sail 18-footers. So I guess it was a bit of a lifetime ambition, and when we succeeded with that, it was really a fantastic moment.
And you're residing in Australia?
I am partially London, partially Australia. The last 12 months I've been here in Sydney. My family's based here, so I would be flying backwards and forwards, but obviously that's not possible. But it's been given me the opportunity to come here to race the 18s. I sailed the Australia Day Regatta, first time in 18 years I think I'd sailed one, so that was interesting. And then I did the Legends Grand Prix, Super Cup Series a couple of weeks ago, and we had a spectacular couple of swims, some very sore legs, but a really great time. and it's reawakened all my love of 18-footer sailing. I think I've watched every race so far, and delighted to be here.
All right, well, thank you, Tim Robinson, our special guest today, the former JJ champion. And we're still awaiting starting signals on this nor'easterly course. We're out off Double Bay. And it's a very good afternoon to Andrew Buckland. Andrew's going to give us an overview of the weather. And also today's race is in memory of David Stevens, commonly known as Big Kite, who was a very good friend of all of us, but a special friend of Andrew. So, Andrew, the weather and a bit of a story on Big Kite.
Well, I might go to Big Kite first. A remarkable forward hand in these boats. Skiff sailor spent his early years sailing 12s and then 18s with Louis Chapman. I had the good fortune to sail 2 Giltinans with him, with Tia Maria, with Peter Sorensen, and we were successful in Auckland the last year of symmetric spinnakers, and then the subsequent year here in Sydney, the first year of asymmetrics. Big Kite, big barrel-chested bloke, a bit in the build and skill set of Dave Ewings of the modern era, perhaps. Super fast fish athlete and indestructible. And the name Big Kite, we'd say back in the day when we had a choice of spinnakers, which sail Big Kite? The big one was his universal answer. He hated being underpressed. Fabulous man, got adult leukemia, and he was actually sailed the second of those Giltinans in which we were successful, with a stent in his chest, and was getting chemotherapy during the series. And eventually that got on top of him, unfortunately. But a very fine yachtsman and a great athlete, and I still think of him. But back to the mundane things, the weather today. Big high pressure cell approaching trough line, probably just now getting towards the south coast of New South Wales, so about 400 miles away. So gradient northerly wind, and what we're seeing is a bit of up and down in the Sydney Basin, a bit of suppression earlier from a little thunderstorm cell cumulus up to about 15,000 feet right over our heads right now. So the breeze went from sort of 14 back to 10, and now perhaps back towards 14 again. Close to the crossover as we sit here, pre-start crossover between the big and the secondary. Expectations for the day, well, we're in a localised, cell-driven environment. I don't expect it to build, but I say that without too much conviction in any shape or form.
Tim, you've been watching the regatta so far, all 7 heats. Obviously, Smeg's impressed you, and they've just got to get the job done today, really, haven't they, to win the title?
Yes, they've been conservative throughout, but most importantly, not made any mistakes, and sailing's really about not making any mistakes, and that's something that can't be said, I think, of the main competitors. Obviously, Tech 2 had 2 disqualifications, which is the end of the game, really, and winning group have been probably not as consistent as you might have expected them to be.
Okay, starting signals just gone up. We've got 4 minutes 50 to go. The nor'easter here is about 12 knots. I believe all boats are on their small rig except one. Tim, now you've got a bit of input there on who's on their big rig.
That is the Appliance Online, Simon Nern, who I sailed with in the aforementioned Super Cup series. So I spent a bit of time talking to Simon. I wasn't actually aware he was going big rig today, but he really likes that rig. He's quite a heavy crew, and I think he feels more comfortable with the big rig than the small rig. So it might be his day.
Andrew, the line, it's a little bit up further north than where it normally is in a nor'easter course, because we've got a big naval ship hanging off the naval buoy that's normally in the starting line area. So we're a little bit, probably about 300 or 400 metres further north than where the conventional starting line is. What's the line looking like for you, Andrew, with 4 minutes to go?
Well, it's interesting, Pete. They've just moved the pin up. We are in the last hour of the ebb. The pin end will be favoured on the setting that's on. It's perhaps even now slightly shorter than normal. The fleet constricted a little. An Etchell fleet starting near us, a laser fleet also, and as you mentioned, the naval vessel. And Pete, we should also note that the bottom rounding mark for the end of the first lap is laid in good proximity, shall we say, to the bow of the naval vessel. Not much room for error there either.
Okay, 3 minutes 15 to go, and the sky clouding over again, and the breeze
Softening again.
softening. Yeah, it's
So we can ask Timmy this. Timmy, how long did it take you to figure out the northeast course on Sydney Harbour?
Well, I found that the easiest one to sort out, because obviously we sailed it more. I found the other ones really quite confusing for a long time. But I think it's really that first spinnaker leg, isn't it, to get around Shark Island, and everything. You know, there are rules there that I never knew about when to jibe and to aim for the middle of Shark Island, or not to try and lay the mark as you on that lay line. So it took us a while to get used to that.
You've got to deliberately underlay the jibe mark, and it's a paradox, isn't it?
Yes.
It's a beauty, though.
Yeah, and we saw a lot of that in, I think, the rate heat 5, maybe. There was some big
exactly.
wins and losses there.
We used to call it threading the needle. Can we thread the needle, right? And always good.
Yeah.
okay. 2 minutes 10 to go. We're just on the winning group, who are at the moment second on the point score. The winning group are bringing this championship to you, and they are today's race sponsor. There's the committee boat, the Ripple side.
So, Pete, in some respects, the focus today might be on the guys with the best rig adaptability, and because that's what we think, you know, the breeze might get below range here, and it might get up, back, you know, it could do nearly anything. But what we're seeing now is definitely right at the bottom of the range, yeah?
Yes, changing gear will be imperative today. The boats are starting to line up with 1:40 to go.
The winning group looks like they will go to the leeward end now from a position in front of the line with 1:30 to go, which in the modern way people do, but interesting. Shaw and Partners down there too.
Yes, the Smeg is in the middle of the line, along with Noakes sailing. You can just see at the left of screen is Queenslander, Dave Hayter, Ben Roxburgh and Elliot Marr.
Import as traditional at the windward end, Peter.
They'll appear at the windward end. There's a minute to go in the 8th heat of the JJs. Can Smeg do it today? So there's the Bird and Bear just tacking to leeward of Tech 2. She has owned that pin in all 7 races, really. She's been down there or thereabouts, and they're having a good regatta. They're in 5th on the point score, but here we go. We've got 40 seconds to go. They're starting to line up. Finport now, coming up the windward end. She's taking a couple of sterns there behind the Queenslander. 25 seconds. Getting close down that leeward end. Tech 2's a little advanced.
Gee, they're very close up, aren't they, Pete?
Yes.
Quite crowded down there.
Here comes Ilvi. Okay, there's the pin. There's the Bird and Bear closest to the pin. Then Tech 2, 7 seconds. Oh, gee. This could be a general, I think.
That's
Yes.
individual. No?
There's 2 hooters, though. The wrong flag, is it? That's good.
So
1 hooter, was it? Okay.
that would have been Noakes Blue,
Individual.
who are going
Noakes Blue, she's coming back. Yvette Heritage. Okay, individual recall. And they're away in the nor'easter to Bradley's Head. The race is on. All on starboard tack.
So, Timmy, the hardest 0.6 of a mile in the world, I reckon, this bit.
That is, and if you poke at, so who's that Tech 2 going quickly, as they have all week really, and certainly watching them, they sail with a very tight jib setup, and when they're moving, they really do move well, as we're seeing here.
They must have been close to the line when the gun went, though.
Yeah, have they dropped the flag there? Has the committee boat dropped the flag? It looks like they have. So it looks like Tech 2's going to win the race, aren't they, to the Bradley's Head?
They'll be first there, I think.
Yeah.
They look as though they just might have a lane to come back. Noakes sailing doing well, standing quite high in the middle of the fleet.
And Smeg in a safe position. You know, they've got their lane, haven't they?
Yeah, Smeg would be pretty comfortable with that. Just not tangled up in the peloton.
No, they're
Fairly clean air.
very solid start from Michael Coxon.
Whereas the winning group is a bit pinned in. Going to have limited options.
Yeah, Noakes has
when
got
he
them
gets
pinned. But Tech 2 will lead them into Bradley's. Just rolling over the top of the Burden Bear.
So there's not much tide on this.
The breeze very soft here. It's lucky to be 12 knots, perhaps. A lot of yachts up harbour between here and the Weather Market, Beechel Buoy. Up there's the Sour Peaks Reef. Tech 2 leads this group into Bradley. She's well above the lighthouse, so she can stand a fair way along the shoreline here. Burden Bear just behind her. I would think Tech 2 will probably lead. Looking for a little left-hander to go back on. Although Noakes is in the picture.
Yeah, I think Tech 2 will be able to attack and cross them.
Yeah.
And we'll be out pretty handily.
Tech 2 leads pretty easily, I would say.
Yeah.
And in the next group, Smeg, Noakes, and Shore and Partners, I think.
The Tech 2's just tacked. The breeze is looks a little left up the harbour, but
So they're going to comfortably clear, aren't they?
Yes, they are. They're clear ahead. And the Burden Bear's done okay. She's got to take the stern of Noakes sailing.
Yeah, so Noakes might be second, Pete, out of that, yeah?
Yes.
Noakes setting up the tack now.
Smeg will be about 4th or 5th. Shore and Partners just coming across to Smeg, and she'll have to go behind Smeg. Yandu's come up the middle. There's Noakes sailing going into Taylor Bay. Just tacking now off screen. And there's Smeg just tacked. Okay. Off we go on a port tack. Smeg about 4th or 5th. But Tech 2 leads. There's Smeg.
And
Noakes.
Tech 2 just going to have to deal with some keelboat traffic here, but you can expect to see them sail a little way and then come hard left up to the next headland, I think.
So that's a pretty traditional way of dealing with a nor'easter. Work your way up these points.
Yep.
Certainly we found that, if I recall.
Special guest today, Tim Robinson, along with Andrew Buckland and myself, Peter Shipway, bringing this coverage to you of the 8th and penultimate race of the JJ Giltinan 18-foot skiff championships this year. And Tech 2 leads narrowly, but maybe not.
No.
Maybe not. Noakes and Smeg, look at those, got their noses in front of Tech 2.
So, and maybe just a bit more pressure on the left, Pete, so the further you can get left a bit. I think Tech 2 will still lead here, but they've given back a bit by getting out of the strongest wind.
There's the 4 that could be the leading group. Tech 2, Smeg, Noakes sailing just behind her, Shore and Partners. 4th on the point score at the moment. I haven't seen the winning group as yet. Oh, they're going hard right down near Shark Island. Okay. Again, they're going out on their lonesome.
And Pete looking up, it's pretty hard on the left up in Chowder Bay.
It does. Look, some nice left-handers and some spiky, nice wind out of Chowder Bay.
So what would winning group be looking for over there?
Well, the tide's ebb, so they think they might be just okay and not get tangled up in the knife fight, because they were perhaps only in about 5th, Tim, yeah?
They were, yeah. But it's quite a high-risk manoeuvre, really.
Yeah, it's not a zero-risk one, that is for sure.
And they're lying in 2nd place. I'm not sure I'd be doing that if I was them.
So you'd think here's Tech 2 in control here. Right, they can stay up on Smeg's hip.
He's got Smeg locked out there. And here goes Noakes sailing. Oh, they've just hit a bad one.
So we can see a bit of a boat speed race between these 3, and maybe this shows why Tech 2, which is going well, she's basically sailed over the top of both of these.
Massive header there that both Smeg and Tech 2 took. Noakes threaded the needle and got between them.
Yeah, no, pretty good option there from Noakes. They they got to the edge of the wind and it got back into good pressure.
Not great pressure where both Tech 2 and Smeg have tacked.
So typical here of Millenor East, just lifting off and not gluing down to the surface on the left edge here.
Yeah, Noakes did that pretty well. He got out rather early and stayed in the pressure. Smeg struggled there in light air, but the left-hand shift is on.
It is on. Yeah.
And looking further up the harbour, Tim, it looks more pressure and steady left.
Yeah, Tech 2 looks in a good position here. Just trying to pick up where the winning group is. They are still making their way on the far shore. I think their problem is going to be to come back, or whether they do come back, whether they get all the way to the ley line on that side.
A few boats have gone that way. Andu has gone. Birkenhead Point Marina's over there. The Royal Oak winning group. Yandu has gone halfway up. It's just this left-hander who gets into this, and if it stays, I think it could punish the boats that went right.
I think
There's the big sail for you, Tim.
it
How
is
are they
the
going?
big sail. They are, well, in a similar position as they've been all week, really.
Major man enjoying it though, Tim.
They are enjoying it. That's the main thing. So Simon Yearn. So yeah, Simon's from the UK. So I spent a lot of time sailing with and against him, initially in the 14-footers and then in the 18s. He was very much a driving force in getting down with the 18s and getting here, and he obviously ended up moving here, lives here full-time, and is the Commodore of the club, I believe.
That's right. Simon Nern's the skipper, Kurt Faturis and
So-
Brandon Bynuk are the crew, and they're just looking for the left-hander, but on Tech 2 and above him, Noakes. They were the leading group coming out of the left, and I think they will still lead. The right, I don't think, has paid. Finport's gone right into Nielsen Park, but we're on the group that have gone to the left initially. There's Smeg going behind.
I think Yandu did
Sure,
quite well. I
partner.
think they did
Yeah,
better than I
Yandu's-
thought, although winning group looks to have dropped a couple of boats.
Well, Yandu only went halfway.
Yes.
He didn't go right to Steel Point. He came up the middle. John Winning. Tech 2's now attacked in the mid-harbour.
So winning group has definitely lost from that, which I don't know how are they going in there. So they're really Noakes is their next boat, so they need to be keeping a good eye on that. Noakes is somewhere ahead, must be 5-6 boats ahead of them.
There's Winning, John Winning, senior, tacking on a nice little left-hander. He likes this second sail rig. He's got his jib. Andrew is slightly bigger than the others. It's tacked out further out on the bowsprit, and he's been performing well on a second sail with his bigger jib.
Yeah, it may be, Pete, you know, that, and I haven't done a close study, but he might, and he believes the boat's a little better balanced with a little bit more hitchel area forward.
Yeah, so I watched it quite closely in race 3 when he got his second, and he really did go very well there. And the boat looks beautifully balanced, and obviously suits his sailing style, and it's showing again today.
Not that he would ever say it publicly, but he thinks his boat, in this sort of conditions, small sail, that he's nearly as quick as anyone out there. It's just that his age catches up with him occasionally downwind that he says lets him down, but that's understandable. He's been at it a long while. It's Yandu now at the left of screen, Bird and Bear.
Oh, there's a
Sure,
Manly Ferry come to
partners.
join the party, Pete.
Oh, here we
Who
go.
would have thought?
Oh,
So who's at risk on that? Well, Tech 2, funnily enough, is
Bird and Bear's the closest to him. Shore and Partners.
Bird and Bear technically disqualified right now, Peter.
Anyway, we'll leave that. We'll concentrate on the race. Bird and Bear, Shore and Partners just behind Yandu. They're all looking pretty good up here. Way left the wind here, Andrew. Big time left.
A pretty tricky day, but quite a big discrepancy between hard right and hard left, that is for sure. We're seeing wind in the hard right, probably in the order of 045 compass, and wind on the hard left, probably in the order of 015, so about 30 degrees difference. And somewhat unusual, lighter in the right and stronger in the left.
But the left paid, the winning group lost out badly, as did Andu by going right. Strangely, Smeg now has gone into the right, into Watson's Bay. So who leads? It's all a bit topsy-turvy at the moment. Yandu would be close to the lead.
Tech 2 and Noakes are first and second.
They're probably up there.
Third, I'm willing to bet.
Yeah. They're now just off the Western Channel Pylite, Tech 2 and Noakes. If they lead, if they're the leaders, then Noakes will... They're not far off a ley line. That breeze is so far left.
Yeah, Noakes is pretty close to a lay in an ebb tide.
So good job from Tech 2 and Noakes. He's had a pretty good series, Sean Langman, and vying for second place on the point score. Good performance today. We'll rocket him in there.
So Noakes is just on lay now.
Yeah.
So if they can hold that, they've got a yacht ahead of them. It's just...
And a very slow yacht on starboard going to get in their way here. They're just easy to go behind the keel boat, which is nearly stopped.
Which is not what you want when you're just on the ley line.
So Tech 2, I think, will have to tack. Noakes were well up on the lay before that little duck they had to make for a keel boat.
So looking at it, looks like Tech 2 and Noakes, and then a group which includes Yandu, Smeg will be the next group, I would say. Bird and Bear and Shore and Partners. And that'll be probably the top 6. We've got these, see them shortly, using the same marker, the vintage 18-footers. They're going to get a bit of hurry up here in a moment.
So that's a great sight, isn't it?
Isn't
Seeing
it?
the
Wonderful.
two coming together.
If we can get a shot of the old boats, there we go.
Yeah.
Look at that.
We've got one with a nice Union Jack on. Good to see that.
Yeah, that's for you, Tim, today.
Happy with that. So is Noakes going to get across Tech 2 here?
Oh, yes, he's going to roll it.
That is close.
Yeah, he's across. Noakes is across and will lead at the Beashel Buoy.
That was very tight.
Yeah, that was tight. There was a couple of whiskers in that. Okay, Noakes is around in front of the old veteran 18.
So this is going to be interesting.
And they get the bear away done.
Are they going to go over the top?
Oh, it's Tech 2.
Yes.
Tech 2 will go over the top. Can't see they're shooting the old one, Timmy, without the bow well down.
I can't say I've ever experienced that. The coming together with it.
Oh, it's a lot of fun.
Well, that's a great shot.
Yeah,
modern versus ancient.
So the Union Jack comes round 4th, doesn't it?
Yeah, being steered by another old 14-footer sailor, Terry Stewart. And I mean old. Older than my
Okay, Yandu 3rd, tightly with Smeg.
Fantastic, actually.
And Bird and Bear would be 5th. Shore and Partners 6th, just squeezing above Finport. Then the winning group will be next.
Finport lays though, so there we go.
Okay, the run is on to Shark Island now. The fun begins.
Yes.
Got to get this jibe angle right, Tim. Down here.
That is the challenge. You've got to make yourself jibe too late, which can be
hard and
quite
mouth
hard
stuff
to
for a
do.
while. Yep. There's the winning group around.
So what number are they around?
They're about 8th.
So
Kitchen Maker will be next.
Noakes Sailing will be back in front of them, I think, on overall at the moment.
Yep, a bit of a way to go. There's the Birkenhead Point Marino in a good puff at Vintech. Tom Kunich, Alex Barinelli and Zach Barnabas. His father, Trent, is forward hand on the point score leader, Smeg. As we're watching Andu, Marcus Ashley Jones, a new father this week. He's around, little wobbly. There they go. He needs to pick up a bit. He's currently lying in 6th spot on the point score. There's Royal Oak, 4 Pines next. Andu, they've good set there. So the run is on now to Shark Island. First time. And here comes the big sale on Appliances Online.
Let's see how they go with the bear away.
Bear away, Simon. Yeah, he's done the job.
Yeah.
Event Heritage in Noakes Blue. They were recalled at the start. Oh, there's a tangle here.
Oh, no. Look at that. He's caught up on the boom.
Oh, the Modern caught the Caught the ancient. Oh dear.
Sure.
Lazarus
Drama.
Capital Partners.
Well, he's going to come back and spare him. No.
There's still more action. That's Lumix, although he's carrying the appliance online sale. Oh dear.
Yeah, I've never seen that before.
Then the Queenslander, poor old Lazarus, he got absolutely chicken winged up there. Lachlan Steele, Jerome Watson, Matt Doyle. So the run is on. We're off to Shark Island for the first time. Noakes leads.
So what else we got? So we got some big boats under Spinnaker to contend with as well, just to add to it.
Birkenhead Point Marina just jibed off the Nielsen Park shore, running out into the centre of the harbour. One jibing in to Shark Island. Shore and Partners leads Bird and Bear.
So we have got a few of these races situations going on, haven't we? So we've got Winning Group and Noakes vying for second and third, and Shore and Partners. They're all pretty close. They're within 6 points of each other. So that'll be interesting to see how they get on.
That's Smeg left of screen, Shore and Partners with the red Spinnaker. They are third and fourth, respectively. And up ahead, Noakes trying to get round Shark Island with the red Spinnaker. Behind him, that's Tech 2 rather, with the red Spinnaker. He's got himself in front here. Tech 2 leads Noakes. Looks tricky, but I think they'll get the job done.
I think he'll get round as well. Hold your nerve, isn't it?
That's it.
Ooh.
No, they're fine. They'll get there.
So what?
Famous last words. There's Noakes.
So we got Smeg on a lower trajectory. I think they might just get round as well.
Okay, there's Tech 2 will lead at this jibe mark. Noakes led at the weather mark, just narrowly by a couple of boat lengths from Tech 2. A few yachts using the same mark by the look of it, but Tech 2's round the outside of them. Noakes is probably about 15 seconds astern. She's got a bit of more traffic to wend her way through. She's just going up above this yacht with the blue Spinnaker. Now she's going below the yacht with the blue Spinnaker. And it's quite light where she's going. Not too many squirrely puffs coming over the top towards her. But there's Tech 2 jibing and has a nice lead now. So nice jibe by those guys.
I think Noakes has got to deal with the rumbo.
Yeah. Okay, Tech 2's away and off to Clark Island.
Well, the keelboats are all going around the island back on a wind, so they'll be out of the way pretty promptly, in fact.
Tech 2, Jack McCartney, Charlie Wyatt and Lewis Brake. They've had a real up and down series. They came in as Australian champion and probably the favourites for the title, but however, not to be, as Noakes runs away clearly in second. Smeg in a solid third, just ahead of Shore and Partners.
Shore and Partners probably going to have to jibe here for the little keelboat.
Yeah, there's a few raised voices.
Yep, the red Spinnaker.
Not necessarily ideal there. Smeg's a nice, comfortable third, Peter.
Yeah.
If imports coming with some
Yeah. Finport's going to have to jibe too. She jibes. She's coming in behind Shaw and Partners. You'll see her. Yandu, screaming down behind a yacht with Bird and Bear to windward of him. They'll go extend a little bit to get away from the lee of Shark Island, I would think. There's Yandu jibing now. Bird and Bear almost in tandem. What's the breeze like here, Andrew? We've got some little good puffs coming through, haven't we?
Yeah, but, and you know, it's above 12, so it's kind of comfortable low range for these guys with a smaller sail. But
Winning group, they've picked up a couple going downwind.
certainly plenty of complexity for the guys coming on the port ley line down to the mark.
There's
Winning
yachts.
group about to get a bit of a spike. Management of the keelboat fleet 101. Kitchen maker just failed the test.
Yeah, don't get stuck underneath one.
Yeah.
You might be there all for some time.
Yeah.
Winning group trying to hang on to second on the points table. They've got a bit of work to do. Noakes, they're giving Noakes a big start at the moment.
So they are in 7th. Winning's in 7th spot. Noakes in 2nd. So that would put them ahead, wouldn't it?
Yeah, they're only 4 points difference between the winning group and Noakes.
And then you've got who's behind them? Shaw and Partners.
Shaw and Partners and the Bird and Bear. So Shaw and Partners again, handily placed. But tomorrow could really play out as a real day of carnage. It's forecast 25 to 30 knots. In the distance, Tech 2 is around and on his way on the second beat to the Beechel buoy. There's a windward leeward this one. Go up to Beechel's, then back down to the starting area. The leeward mark, which they've just rounded. They've got a very handy lead now. It'll be the best part of a minute, Tim.
So Tech 2, they're really stretched out. I think Noakes got caught in a light spot and Tech 2 didn't, and that made all the difference. They do have a good lead. But then Noakes has quite a good lead on Smeg. They must be, 30, 40 seconds ahead of third.
And there's Smeg in third place. Shaw and Partners fourth. And they're about 30 seconds behind Noakes, who's just gone round the leeward mark. Smeg's doing is all required
It's not 30
to lock this championship in.
but it's sufficient.
Smeg and Shaw and Partners dropped their spinnakers early. They've reached up to the mark and they're around. Yeah, that Delta would only be 15, 20 seconds behind Noakes. Shaw and Partners 4 and Finport will be next around. They're off to Bradley's Head. Finport now around the mark.
So the breeze far enough left down here that they come into an effective header on the bottom
Yeah,
reef.
and it looks a bit fresher too. As
Yeah, no, a bit of
the
build.
winning group have made up some good time here. They've got in front of Yandu, a son in front of father, and the Bird and Bear trying to get upwind with their spinnaker. Still up. Oh, it's out the back of the boat. We haven't seen them on screen yet. But there's the winning group around. Yandu will follow them by about 5 seconds. There they go. And next around will be Bird and Bear. They've got this job done with the spinnaker. The fleet all have been headed and have to have an early drop and reach up to the mark. The fleet are off to Bradley's Head.
Yeah. So it looks like one fetch into Bradley's Head, and then let's see if they work their way up that shore or cross over the harbour.
Well, I mean, Timmy, the breeze is so far left down the
Yeah.
bottom here, you'd think that they would just keep staying in the breeze on the left edge.
I would agree with that.
Tight near neutral, so...
So just as we say that,
Smeg.
yeah, Smeg is off screen at the moment, has tack.
Okay, here's the kitchen maker coming in just behind the Royal Oak.
So we've had it's off screen, but the ferry's just gone through the middle, and that forced Smeg to tack, Shaw and Partners to tack, and forcing them what we think is the wrong side of the course. So let's see how that plays out.
2 extra tacks and possibly the wrong way.
Yeah.
Kitchen maker just tacking out of the gas of Royal Oak and Noakes Blue.
That said, Smeek being very comfortable where they are, though, yes?
Yeah, I mean, Smeg's doing what they need to do, isn't it?
Right.
Big fleet of Etchells just running down off Bradley's head. About a dozen of them that are going to converge with the 18-footer fleet. Meanwhile, we're on Royal Oak. Aaron Everett, Courtney Marr and Charlie Gundy.
I must say they've had their moments this week.
They have.
They've had a couple of races. They really sell very well. A bit inconsistent, but certainly impressive at times.
They're the Etchells, the coloured spinnakers, running through the 18 fleet. Noakes blue, bottom right of screen.
Timmy, water looks like it's still just moving upstream, just fractionally, not much. Certainly not going in yet.
No.
The breeze north-northeast, probably 14 knots, perhaps.
And got a bit lumpier the seaway with all these
Yes.
Etchells going through, and
Yachts and powerboats, ferries.
so winning group, they got to Bradley's head, tacked off, and Smeg, who's off screen, is coming in starboard tack, so they'll converge in a couple of minutes. We'll see how they've got on.
Yes. The winning group made up a lot of ground on those two spinnaker runs.
They did well, yes.
Yeah, they did exceptionally well.
So,
Wow, it's bumpy though, isn't it? Watching
Yeah.
the old winning group. Green over the bow there. Tacking now.
Just tacking.
going back into the headlands.
So in part for wind, in part for smooth water, Tim, yeah?
Yes.
They're laying into Taylor Bay. There's a really good wind in Taylor Bay here. Looks nice, really strong left-hand pressure.
So we'll get a bit of an idea of how they're going boat speed wise as winning group and Smeg line up.
Well, the camera can burn them off at any time, Tim, you see. That's the problem. But pretty nice lay, and the water infinitely smoother, and the breeze even further left with pressure.
Yeah, and there's a really good bit of breeze on the left.
Yeah.
They're coming into Taylor Bay. Guest today is the 1999 Giltinan champion, Tim Robertson. Tim, you're enjoying it out here? It's great, isn't it?
This is absolutely what 18-footer sailing is about. Great northeast course, breeze up and down, lots of traffic, lots of incident. Fantastic.
Timmy, we're talking about the comfort of the camera boat, mate, not about the race.
The camper boat is very nice, I have to say.
Best seat in the house.
Okay,
So we talked a bit about the boat speed, and I fancy Smeg's got a little bit of the legs on winning group. Seem to be sailing a bit higher and about the same speed.
There's Noakes sailing. They've gone right into Taylor Bay. They've tacked. They're in second spot. Tech 2 leads quite clearly. See in the distance there that we're on Noakes sailing. He just had one reasonably poor performance on the Noakes. They had a 13th on a short race on a day. It was 2 races, but besides that, they've had a 9th, 2nd, 7th, 4th, 3rd, and a 2nd. If they can drop their 13th, they'll be looking very tidy on the points list.
Yeah, and Pete, if you recall, the 9th was when they went in the drink at the bottom mark in a bit of squirrel wind down at Robertson's Point. Finport's made some yards in the middle. How
They
about
have,
that?
absolutely. You can see them just coming
They
up
have.
to Smeg.
Less tax and probably less interference. Have a look at Shaw and Partners now.
They
If we can go to the right. Cheers.
Are they bow to bow? Are they going to cross?
Shaw and Partners.
No,
and
Finport will
Wingrid
cross.
Going for the middle of a
Finport
keelboat
will
fleet.
across.
Okay, so Finport's now got himself into third spot. Gee, it's tricky, isn't it? It's tricky stuff. A lot of dots to join. Smeg now fourth.
So Smeg's pretty lifted now. It's difficult. It'd be difficult to go back in on that. So, oh,
Just hope he's seen this yacht.
yeah. What's he going to do with the yacht?
Take his. Oh, what's he going to do? Has he seen him?
Has
That's
he
the
seen
thing.
He probably will tack now, I would say.
Yeah.
Oh, there he goes. Oh,
Good call, Bucko.
oh, bad wave he hit when he tacked. Anyway, all good.
It wasn't their best, but all he'll
No.
do here is just sail pretty safely, I think we'll find. He's confident about his downwind speed, and fourth is definitely good enough.
It's massive left in Chowder Bay. Oh, Shore and Partners got tangled up with some yachts. He had to thread a needle or three. It's like the winning group across in front of him.
Yeah, big left in Chowder, guys.
Oh, massive.
Noakes taking a bit of risk here, possibly.
Yeah, they're going back now, Noakes. We're
Okay.
off screen.
Well, that's okay. That's good enough.
Yeah, it probably is. They didn't go too far out in the
You know, they're
middle
still
of the harbour.
they're just outside the line of Smeg and Finport further back. So
There's Noakes going back
They're-
into Chowder.
they're-
You can see in the
they're
distance
in good
coming round their
pressure
bow
here.
now. Almost is Tech 2. Noakes is hanging in here.
Yeah, I think Noakes has done well. I think they've actually closed up a bit on Tech 2. And they're in a good line of pressure here, so a few more gains to be had, I think.
Just remembering, Beachel Boy, they're about halfway up this second windward work. And they'll run back down to the starting area at Clark Island, then another beat to windward, and then the two spinnaker runs to the finish. There's the gap between Noakes and the race leader, Tech 2. Josh Promeski,
Yeah.
Sean Langman and Ed Powies on Noakes sailing.
So I think they've halved that,
Yes.
they've halved the distance. So now it's a question for when Noakes tacks again, which they are going as we speak.
just massive header, and he had
Yeah.
to tack. He didn't have any choice there whatsoever. And a bit less breeze, so a bit problematic until you get actually up to the headland, Tim. And it does pay. It does cost money, but it does pay.
Yeah.
Cost you a bit to get there, it seems.
There's Noakes, just a friendly powerboat going as close as he can to him. But anyway, there's Smeg and Finport.
You won't be thanking him for this.
Nah. Okay, there's Nielsen Park in the background, but they're a long way off Nielsen Park shore. That's Finport and Smeg. They're getting out in the middle of the harbour now. They're battling
So-
out for third.
So winning group off screen are following them over to the middle of the course, and I would say have dropped a bit. So I think Smeg's made some gains there.
Yeah, breeze just down a fraction.
Down but solid left. Tech 2 is not that, he's off, not laying, but he's not that far off the ley line.
Yeah.
And he's about 300 metres short of the Beachel Boy, but he will be under it, and he'll probably head as he gets out into the middle of the harbour.
Pete, you'd imagine he's now just going to be conservative and sail just upwind of the fleet to some degree. A lot of powerboat traffic on the western shore and a lot of very bumpy water. He's got a clean lane where he is.
So no particular reason for him to tack. So
Well,
We'll
there is,
carry
Tim,
on.
but there isn't. You know, there's a bunch of reasons just to stretch out, yeah?
yeah. So he's got a yacht with a glass of wine on it, on the spinnaker.
What all yachts should have, mate. It's called, surprise, surprise, red wine, dark sea.
Right. Okay.
It's still a busy harbour with yachts, powerboats, ferries. there's Noakes. Noakes sailing. Just
So nobody going back hard left, Pete.
no.
Interesting, isn't it?
And Tech 2 is going to have a nice buffer at this weather mark.
Yeah, I think Tech 2 stretched again. So most people heading to the middle of the course and beyond, and well, I guess we'll get up to the ley line and come in on starboard tack.
Yep. And in the traffic-free zone, Tim.
Yeah.
But they sailed for about 5 or 6 minutes without tacking there, so if you're not going too badly, that's not a bad thing to do in bumpy water particularly.
And this starboard ley line's pretty clear now. Once the yachts with the wine glasses on have gone past.
There's an endless supply of yachts with wine glasses,
Yes.
brother.
Tech 2 about 80 metres short of the weather mark at the Beachel Boy. Remember, he's already won 3 heats of this series. And but he's had a couple of bad wobbles that have cost him dearly. He'll be tacking very shortly. There he goes. And he will lead them in convincingly.
And he's got probably more than 1 minute there, Pete.
Yeah, we'll put the clock on him.
So yeah, I think the second half of that beat, he sailed that very well.
Indeed.
And it wasn't obvious why that was better, but
No.
it was better.
I think he is fast. He's consistently, I would say, quicker.
Yeah,
And when
no,
you follow behind him, you know, he sails with a, as I say, with that jib in pretty tight and sails it just heel to windward. And when he gets going, he is very quick.
Yeah, he admitted to not having the right rig settings in for the Thursday race, so gave himself a slap on the wrist.
So he'll run now back to Clark Island. This is the second Spinnaker run. Noakes will be coming up to the weather mark shortly. Tech 2 jibing. There's Noakes. Well overlaid here.
And pretty comfortable second.
Okay, the delta is 45 seconds.
Oh, there you go. A bit less than I thought, but
That's a nice lead.
still a nice lead.
Here comes Smeg in third spot.
So Smeg got back in front of Finport there. Didn't exactly see how that occurred. Winning group fighting with Shaw and Partners for fifth, a little further back down the bay there, in the background.
Finport's having their best race.
So they made their gains at the first half of that beat. They went to the right.
Yeah,
Well, Pete, they had 2/3.
Yeah, that's 2/3,
if you recall.
but I'm on it. Talking about more recent times. There they
Yeah,
go,
recent
Smeg.
times, yeah, exactly.
They're round 39.30. They're about 30 seconds behind Noakes. Then Finport is next. Keegan York. Matt Stenter and Phil Marshall, they're away. Next will be squeezing hard to get round. Will be, in a moment, we'll see Ron Smeg. Next around, Shaw and Partners.
And they got their courtesy of a skinny ley line and winning group a little fat. So
Winning group
No.
now into fifth spot.
Not the best choice on Shaw and Partners.
And next around will be Yandu, so they're the top 6. But meanwhile, we're on Smeg. There's winning group, Shaw and Partners.
So when we're looking at the championship, Smeg are really going pretty securely right now. They're halfway through the race, and as it stands, they're looking good.
Timmy, halfway through the race, but 2/3 of the way through the danger, I think, in a sense of they're out of the peloton. The harbour traffic's sort of on its way home, more or less. It does get easier to some degree last lap
Yes.
on Saturdays, days like today.
Jim Colley, Sean Connor and Harry Bethwaite just jibing.
Pretty solid jibe.
Steel Point, Nielsen Park in the background. Adams 10 metre just going upwind past them.
Yeah. There's still some good areas of pressure coming down. Can't see them at winning groups in a good one, and I think they're going to probably go round Shaw and Partners here.
It breeze about 12 or 14 knots. There's the winning group. They've really surged down this run.
Yeah, they've picked up a good line of pressure from the mark, and I think have gone around Shaw and Partners to bring them up to what, 5th, are they?
Closed up to Finport as well, yep.
Yeah, and Finport had to jibe for the spectator vessel, unfortunately.
Yeah, Finport was in 4th spot prior to that.
I think the spectator boat was a winning boat, winning group yacht. A mere coincidence, I'm sure.
Yes. Great. Okay, here's Smeg.
Ooh, just a big leap.
Running through a powerboat wake. Bradley's head in the background. They're in 3rd position. Noakes 2nd. Tech 2 leads quite clearly. 45 seconds ahead at the weather mark. Down to this mark in Clark Island. The final beat up to Beachel's, then the Spinnaker run round Shark Island to home. There's Noakes in the background, has jibed, running down the Bradley's Head shore. Shaw and Partner.
So Smeg's got, they're going to jibe. They had to thread their way through a couple of yachts, so I think they went for the safety option.
And I think, Tim, also they're looking a bit less wind in the bay here.
Yes.
Good pressure down at the headland, but not so much in the middle of the bay.
Oh, there's Noakes having to dodge a yacht. A friend with a wine glass on the Spinnaker. Noakes got round his stern, going out off Bradley's Head now.
So all this 18-footer race, you forget, if you said a lot of other classes like I did 49ers and stuff, dealing with traffic management was of course never a part of it. Here it's absolutely fundamental part of the racing. And of course one of the things that makes it so interesting is Noakes heads towards a ferry as we speak, and what's it going to do?
Around the stern of the ferry. That's the historic 18-footers ferry. So there's plenty of action out here. But the other thing, Tim, is that also, if you're 3 strings, it's hard to see boats ahead of you to leeward with a Spinnaker up. So
it is.
be
I think
very
there'll be
careful.
many incidents over the years, haven't there? If you look at Smegs, looks like they've got quite a clear run.
About 2/3 of the way down the run to Clark Island. Tech 2, the leader, threading their way through a laser fleet from Double Bay that's just starting.
I think Tech 2's really stretched away on this leg.
Yeah, Tim, I mean, if you've been watching the downwind legs, but on occasion I've had an uncanny ability to stretch away or go in places, just staying in the puff with really good execution on the jibes.
Okay, they're around.
That's a big lead, Pete.
That run took less than 8 minutes for Tech 2.
Reflection
So
of the northerly, northeast type vector.
There's a lot of cloud overhead now. It's choppy, quite choppy water here, and not a great amount of breeze. It'd be lucky to be 12 knots as watching Noakes sailing and Smeg come in on the starboard lay line.
They're all in a good line of pressure.
Yeah, they'll be
They're
below
really
the lay
getting-
line here.
Noakes on a screamer.
Yep.
Yeah. He's
So
going to
they've
be
got a
close.
header with puff.
Yeah, just what you need.
More left hand, but not bad. No great loss, and they've got plenty of cushion, so I think they'll be pretty conservative here.
Yeah, I used to find calling the drop always quite a challenge. Certainly in the early days, I think there were many times we were beyond the mark before we knew what was going on.
It's easy to shoot past. That is dead right.
Smeg still with a shoot. Full noise coming in. They've got a beauty behind that.
Oh, ripping down here.
So about a minute 15. The gap.
They're going for
47.35.
quite an early
Minute
drop here.
minute 23, Andrew. Official
Oh,
time. I'm the official timer. You're the
Are
guesser.
you? I'm just the guest
Yep,
timer today.
okay.
Am I? Okay.
Minute 23, so he extended some 30-odd seconds as Smeg gets the drop done.
And well done. That will be Trent Barnabas in the bow.
Exactly, and
So-
Ricky Bridge.
Yeah, I was talking to the Barnabases this morning, and they tell me that Trent and Trevor have 5 wins each.
That'll
So-
be, yeah. Well,
so
listen, Trent has
if-
got 5, that's for sure.
And Trevor has 5, Trent
Yeah.
has 5. So if Trent wins today,
You'll
he goes
overtake
ahead of
Dad.
his father. So I was asking was Trevor keen on Trent winning? He claimed he was.
Yeah.
No, he's very keen.
Well, Trent won 3 with his dad, one with Ewan McNichol, and one, of course, with Michael Coxon in 2017 as Finport 4th, and now the winning group 5th. They had a great run, the winning group.
And Sherwin Partners has given up that place, but
Yeah,
they're
watching
still in touch.
Yandu.
They're still in touch.
Yandu come in as Andu jibes on their stern. So the last beat of the 8th heat of the JJ Giltinans, brought to you by the winning group. I'm Peter Shipway, and with me Tim Robertson, former champion, and Andrew Buckland, a multiple former champion. Or former multiple champion, whichever way you want, Bucko.
Not going to enter that debate.
At least you're former.
I'm a former. That's
Yes.
right. And it was
We're
a
all
lot-
formers.
I mean, Tim's the only one that can claim any.
And here comes
any
another
currency.
former champion, the 2000 champion, John Winning Jr.
It only counts if it was this century, Pete. And
Well, I don't think I count on that one
No,
either.
no.
I was 99.
you're just on the cusp, mate. That's
Well,
all.
here comes Woody Winning. He was 2000. Evergreen as always. And, oh, it's choppy down here at this leeward mark. There's
Nice powerboat wash.
Yeah, a few spiky puffs. Nice job by the winning team aboard. Oh, Yandu takes a bit of an aerial route there. As on the Royal Oak coming in, she'll be 2 behind Yandu as Andu is next. Royal Oak, a drop.
Oh, only a wash there. Would wash the spinnaker out. You
The
know.
Bird and Bears got a bit lost, haven't they? They were well up early, but
Yeah, they didn't go too well up the beat. They got
No.
chicken winged up with some a keelboat I did see at one point.
disappointing for them. They're behind the kitchen maker. Kitchen maker, a young crew. Jordan Gertis, Lachlan Doyle and Tom Quigley. And talking of young crews, the 18s are looking for youngsters to come and sail next season. There's going to be 2 boats available, and the 18-footer club would like you to put your resumes in. Anyone that might be interested or to graduate from other classes to move in. And I think, Tim Robertson, you could vouch for that. It would be a great thing to do for young skiff sailors to move into this class.
It is a great experience and a great challenge, and you make a lot of good friends, and it's something that will stay with you all your sailing life, so I can highly recommend it.
So if you're out there watching or listening, just make application to the 18-footer club at Double Bay, and I'm sure they'll welcome that. Put a video in, if you like, of your sailing experiences or whatever. And there's 2 boats available next season, and you could be joining this great club and great class. And who knows, could well be a Giltinan, JJ Giltinan champion down the road, which would be wonderful. And it's really, you look at the boats and people that have won this regatta over the years, going back to 1938, it's a real hall of fame of skiff sailors. So we encourage you to think about it seriously. Two boats will be available next season. Meanwhile, we're on Noakes Blue, Event Heritage, Rory Cox and Oliver Scott Mackey bouncing upwind towards Bradley's Head.
So, Timmy, just up in the distance there, I think I can see Appliances Online in the back of the screenshot.
Yes. I don't know what's gone on, but it's not where they want to be.
Do you think they might have been on the riding lever, brother?
It would the distances we're looking at would suggest that. Yes. Maybe the big rig came back to bite them.
Okay, Noakes Blue went into this regatta equal 12th on points. This race today, rather. There's the Bird and Bear. Bradley's Head Lighthouse in the background. Yandu just coming off Bradley's Head. Andu behind her. And Kitchen Maker and the Royal Oak standing up into Bradley's Head. The Kitchen Maker just tacking. Puff's probably up to 14 or 15. It's a bit more solid looking upwind. The harbour clearing a little, not as many yachts now as the racing is finished for most classes.
Yeah, the harbour's definitely clearing out. It's not quite the mayhem that was going up that first beat.
Yeah, Tim, I always think that the first, 0.6 of a mile of this racetrack, the drag race to Bradley's Head is a pretty interesting bit of yachting, isn't it?
It really is. I think it's one of those, yes, I guess one of those great legs of any yacht race.
It's like the hairpin at the Seawall on the Monaco Formula One track.
I'm sure there'll be something like that. And very satisfying if you can tack and cross the fleet. So it's a bit like a port tack start on a normal start line. Get to Bradley's, tack and cross everyone, you know you're going to have a good race.
The rule used to be first man to Bradley's Head wins the race. I don't think it's changed, has it?
No, I don't think so.
Well, here's a young team that have picked up 18-foot skiff sailing, as I was talking about before, to get into it. It's Jordan Gertis, Lachlan Doyle and Tom Quigley. They're making a very good fist of things. Just tacking now. They're in about 10th position.
So they're going back
into Taylor Bay.
Which seems, most of the fleet seems to be doing a similar thing.
It's still heavily favoured in the left, isn't it? The port tack.
Well, Pete, if you look, there's more wind on the right-hand side. Where we are sort of left and middle on the camera cat, the lulls might be down at 10.
Yeah.
And on the right, you think you're looking at sort of 14 or a little more, maybe.
And we saw that as they came into that leeward mark, didn't we?
Bird and Bear, James Doran, John Walton and Tom Clout. Tom Clout, on previous JJ winner, he was with Sevi Jarvan. He got a love at 7 in 2010 when they won the JJs. So plenty of experience there.
So they're working their way to the right of the course. Maybe they're looking at that additional breeze that we talked about.
But off screen, Tech 2 leads clearly from Noakes Sailing. And a good battle going on for third, with Smeg at the moment just holding that position, but we're on the Bird and Bear. Can do.
So how many JJs has John Winning done?
Oh, I'd
The
hope
abacus doesn't have that many beads
Yeah,
on it, mate.
a lot. That's all I can say. But his crew, Jasper Warren and Mike Kennedy, enjoying this conditions. Bumpy water, you can see him both bouncing up and down. And for Woody, but
So this is John with his jib sticking out the front of the off the bow. So which is a bit of an unusual configuration.
yes,
But he certainly goes well with it.
coming into really good pressure. You can see a lot of white caps now, Tip,
Yes.
off Nielsen Park. He's about 200 metres off to the west of Nielsen Park, laying in towards Bottle and Glass. For those that know Sydney Harbour,
Yeah, there is certainly more wind on that right-hand side that John Winning's going towards. I think he's closed up a lot on Finport.
there's Finport, it's tacked off Nielsen. Shaw and Partners will have got back in front of him. There's Shaw and Partners.
They've got in front of Finport.
Yeah.
Who's battling some big wash. He's a bit off screen.
And plenty of wind here. Strongest we've seen all race here.
Yeah. And plenty of wash.
And another gear changing moment. Flatten it down and away we go. And Tech 2's probably a couple of minutes or less from the weather mark.
We've got a start coming in.
Winning group.
So they're up to fourth, I think. So that'll keep them in second place overall.
That's the Nielsen Park Shore. They're coming up to Bottle and Glass. And that's the track that Noakes Sailing took, and Smeg, we'll see him in a moment. That's Bottle and Glass, and there's Smeg.
Timmy, the new pressure on this side, very bumpy water for the run.
Very bumpy. We might see
Thrills and spills.
some action, yes. Maybe from the mid-fleet down.
That's the championship points leader, Smeg. Can he get the job done today? Well, we don't want to talk too soon, but it's looking okay.
So this is the last women mark, isn't it?
It is.
And then we've got to
Run to home, Shark Island, then the finish.
negotiate Shark.
Yeah, never easy. And quite a clear harbour now, plenty of wind. 15, 16 knots and bumpy water. There's Noakes Sailing. Hazy Sydney skyline in the background. Final heat tomorrow. Plenty of wind forecast out of the south. The southerly change is due early in the morning.
So how much wind are you expecting?
Well, the early forecast is 30 knots. 30 knots.
And will everybody go out in 30 knots?
Well,
Yes.
John Winning Senior will. He'll
I did
love
talk
it.
to John about that. He said
it's not-
he would be out.
He'll be out.
The
He'll
youngsters may not, but
That's
he
right.
would be out.
The old bloke will show them what to do and how to do it. Okay, we're on Tech 2. He's
So a good win around the women mark.
turning for home just after an hour's sailing. Tech 2, Jack McCartney, Charlie White and Lewis Brake.
Yeah, they negotiated that bear away pretty well.
And good breeze.
So pretty safe set. And now let's see how they get through this bumpy waters.
They've been pretty proficient today, and they were very proficient through the Australian titles, and just those two races in this series have let them down. But we don't want to dwell on that. I'm sure they're hurting enough about that. But we're watching Noakes come in. They're on the lay line.
Yeah,
Smeg a clear third.
getting set up for the bear away on the Noakes.
And the bear away won't be easy in this wind and chop.
No.
Plenty coming too, Pete.
Yeah, hard on your mouth stuff here. Noakes is well over the mark.
So this will be Smeg's moment of truth. They can get through this one,
Yeah,
and
well.
most of the job is done.
And
Okay, so
There they
Noakes
go,
lines it
Noakes.
up. Noakes lines it up.
looks
and-
okay. Yep,
Bring it
Yeah,
out.
good.
very nice. I'll give them 10 out of 10 for that. Next one needs an 11 out of 10. Cocko, Michael Coxon. Championship brought to you by the winning
Yeah,
group.
and the breeze is going to stay up.
Oh, he's got
So,
plenty.
Here he goes.
He's got plenty. This will be heart in the mouth.
Oh,
Here he goes. Oh, he's good.
Yep.
Trent Barnabas is in. Spinnakerby's up. This is a very polished crew, very experienced. Ricky Bridge was with Lee Napton when they won the title in Smeg. Same name, different boat, a different skipper in 2016. Ricky Bridge was part of that crew. There they go, bound for home.
Okay. So there's somebody in the boat. What's going on there? I think he's just tidying up the main sheet, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Running into towards Nielsen Park, just
Yeah. And
aiming
There's,
it probably. They're jiving early. Okay,
yeah, there's
interesting.
quite a lot of chop ahead.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I
Big
think
waves.
that was a great call.
Our
Yeah,
skipper,
This wave here, that
Jimmy
we're about to
Bury.
cross in the camera boat next
Yep.
to him.
Jimmy
is
Bury
enough to
pointed
sink
that out.
you.
There's Bondi Beach
Ooh,
here.
crikey.
Where did
There's-
that come from?
there's full
Wow.
surf we're going through on the camera boat.
Oh, need your seasick tablets here. Where did that come from? Anyway, smart sailing from Smeg. They saw it.
That would have been an interesting moment.
It
wouldn't
would have been. That would have been hard in
There'd
your
been some
mouth.
lift off.
Yes. Anyway, that just showed their experience. They knew what they had to do. There's Noakes. A lot of left in the breeze. They're almost paralleling the Nielsen Park shore. Just the bow up, and you'll see in the distance the race leader, Tech 2.
Take two is long gone.
He's been very impressive today, Tim.
They have been.
Yeah.
But you know, I think consistency is the name of the game, and you're never going to win with two DSQs,
No.
are you?
Sean Langman, another veteran skipper, 59 years young. Ed Powers and Josh Probeski. They've had a fine regatta. Oh, there's
Yeah,
plenty of wind now. The sun's
absolutely.
coming out.
Some great shots.
18-footer skiff sailing at its very best. Need to get the jibe right here.
So you'd be lining up how far out? You'd be what? The skipper would be looking under the boom, trying to line up Shark Island.
Come on, Bucko, you're going to call this. You tell me the sheet hand calls it.
I'll be running on a bit further here.
80 degrees. He's got a long way to go. I'll be telling you blokes to be quiet.
Really?
Yep.
Tim and I are doing our best, but
So we
your
got
your call, Bucko.
We've got notes coming. Have they seen
He's got to
this?
drive them down to the back of the historic skiff.
Okay.
So
Gee,
Bucko, you would call the ley lines, would you?
Yep.
All right. So we'll go with you.
He's early.
He's early.
Is he?
Yep.
I think he's early too.
He's early but safe.
Oh, almost safe. Oh,
Oh no.
yeah, that to my eye looks early, but
And look who's on the starboard bow, Timmy.
What? The Union flag? Ah, the anchor, the red anchor.
Another JJ Giltinan winner on the stick. Cubby Barnett. And Donnie Buckley in the bow.
they're just off screen at the moment. We're on Noakes.
So the Smegger's gained a lot. Are they on? So the Smegger's caught up a lot there, which might be the reason why he jibed. He jibed on his lay line. On his line, rather.
See the wind in the background. Smeg at full wick. Centreboard being exposed occasionally. Bumpy water. Meanwhile, Tech 2 has jibed at Shark Island and he's on his way to home. There's Tech 2.
And this will be a
Pointing
pretty hot
high in
race
the
to the
background.
finish.
So Tech 2 just running to the finish. And could be flat out here.
Yeah, wind enough in the north that it should be a no jibe run, Timio.
No.
Have a look at that.
Straight in here.
Yeah, this will be entertaining.
Not too bumpy down here, fortunately for these guys. Not too much refraction off the headland, off the seawall at Point Piper here, which can be challenging.
I seem to remember some scraping down the seawall moments.
And a bit of needle threading with the laser fleet.
Yeah. Terrific shot here of Tech 2. On their way, they're about 150 metres from home, and they will win this 8th heat. The JJ Giltinans. What a performance today.
So they are on the ley line for the finish.
Yeah. They'll have to get round the bow of this ship. Oh, ferry in their way. Race is not over yet. They've dropped the chute. They've had to drop the chute to come up. The ferry, I don't know where our old friend in the Royale was going, but he was going to collide with them.
I'm going to add to the...
The Royale's doing the covering.
Well, he certainly was.
There's a bit of a lean on the Royale.
Yes. Okay. Meanwhile, back to business. Here comes Tech 2. Committee mode. 3, 2, 1. Tech 2 wins.
Deserved winners.
Absolutely. Very good performance. Tech 2.
But as we're looking up the course, no, both of them around safely. That's
So
no.
Noakes left their job a bit late there, Tim.
Yeah, he did. He'll be dropping on the wire, I think.
Yeah,
Sean going for maximum leverage.
definite low hooks here.
Oh. Yeah,
Well,
I think Smega rolled them.
Yeah, Smeg might be above the lay.
But there's some quite black
Black
lines
here.
coming.
Big
I think-
bit of wind.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're
Smeg's
about to
over
get
the
into
top
a
of him.
big gust. This will be flat out on the
oh,
Smeg.
well, Smeg is bound for glory.
Yes, they are, and done it in style there.
Absolutely, the title is theirs. If they can get home here,
But there's a
they cannot be beaten.
big black line coming towards them.
Just got the better of Noakes there. They jibed early. It's tight on the ley
They
line.
are
They'll,
tight on the lay.
they'll both have to drop, I think.
And there's a big gust coming.
Well, provisionally now, Smeg can't be beaten for this title. Michael Coxon's second crown.
Are they going to drop the chute? Are they going to drop it?
No, he's going to go for it.
Is he going
Gotta
to
go.
it?
Why not go out in glory?
Yes. Oh, wrapped around the committee boat.
There they go. Smeg gets the job done.
Congratulations.
Well done. Terrific performance. And Noakes, another solid effort. Third. Breeze is right up here now. Who's in fourth will be the winning group. They're at full noise.
They've got plenty of breeze.
So a bit of late northerly bend and a little build.
So I just want to make sure what I'm telling you is right. So they'll count 6, 17, 19 points. So they don't have to race tomorrow, but I'm sure they will. There's the winning group in fourth spot. So Smeg will finish this regatta as the champions. They'll one race to go, but they don't have to sail tomorrow. I'm sure they'll be out, but what a performance, Tim, from Michael Cox and Ricky Bridge and Trent Barnabas.
Yeah, excellent performance. I watched them all week and they barely put a foot wrong, to be honest.
Yeah, the only day they were untidy, you know, they had a big rig in and the settings wrong according to them, and they were a bit they got burned off pretty readily the first heat by Tech 2 in second sail breeze. The second heat, big sail, they were very uncomfortable.
Okay, Shaw and Partners got low on the lay line. He's coming in hot, and at fifth spot, very hot, nearly on the wind. He's that hot.
Finport.
And Finport. They will
Are they
be
going to lay it?
sixth.
They've got a big gust.
Yeah, they're easily there. Fantastic. Great shot.
Shaw and Partners
Shot.
in fifth.
So this stronger wind's been consistently on this right-hand side.
No, Tim, this is a bit of a late build. It's a bit strange what's happened, but if you recall back to the start, the wind at the start line was probably only about 10 knots.
Yeah.
So this is just a bit of local, who knows what, but we did observe on the beat, the breeze far enough left that it was lifted off from the land proximity on the left-hand side.
Watching Andu, he's slowly come up through the fleet all day. He'll be seventh. And then Yandu will be eighth. So as we're watching Andu finish, I must stress this is provisional. Smeg cannot be beaten for the title now. Winning group will remain in second place on points with 27. Third will be Noakes on 30, and fourth will be Shaw and Partners on 34. So still a close battle for second, third positions. You'd probably have to say advantage winning group. But today was Tech 2's day. The series has been Smeg's. Second title for Michael Cox, and one of the most popular sailors in the 18-footers. Comes from a wonderful sailing family.
So he was sailing them back when I was doing them. So I think he was in his earlier
a young boy then.
His career, yeah.
But, he won
we always marked him out for
greatness.
For greatness.
Well, his father, Rick, two-time Olympian. He went to he was selected for the 1980 games, but Australia didn't send a sailing team.
In which
In the star class.
Okay.
And he was with Potty O'Donnell in that year, and then 4 years later was with Colin Beechel at Los Angeles in the star class again. So a wonderful sailing family. As I said, they'll be very popular winners. Trent and Ricky Bridge, two terrific crewmen and terrific guys, and I think everyone will be delighted to see them being, as I stress, provisional winners of this title. Nothing's set in stone until they sign off, but we're watching some good action here. The Bird and Bear, Wishka, he's got plenty on.
Wash.
Oh, terrific. They're across with a hole in their spinnaker, and the Kitchen Maker after them. So the Bird comes in at 9th, Kitchen Maker 10. And then Noakes Blue, and then an old vintage skiff in the background. Here's Yvette. She's done well again over at the start and hung in there.
Yeah.
Not in easy conditions to sail. The crew of Rory Cox and Oliver Scott Mackey. The breeze is as fresh as we've seen all day here, Tim, at the moment.
It is.
If we can just now have a look at this old 18-footer, perhaps, come round, have a look at him smoking towards the finish.
And that's been sailed by Cub Barnett.
Yeah.
I sailed against Cub back in...
There he is.
Back in 95, I think.
The Yendies.
The mighty Yendies are going to win the race, Pete, off scratch.
Donnie Buckley, the forward hand, he was with Ian Murray and Andrew Buckland when they won all those titles. Look at him roaring along. Looks terrific.
Great stuff.
Swing it down, boys.
Go the North Sydney Bears.
As was tradition then, they all used sail in football jumpers of various teams. So
was that for the weight, or was that for...
I think it was just, they were probably giving them free. They played rugby league in the winter and sailed in the summer. So End of another great day sailing on the Sydney Harbour 8th and second last heat of the JJ Giltinan Championships, brought to you by Winnings. The winner today, Tech 2, his 4th win of the series, but it's a bridge too far for him to win the title. Smeg was 2nd, Michael Coxon, Noakes, Sean Langman 3rd, Winning Group 4th, Shaw and Partners 5th, Finport 6th, Andu 7th, Yandu 8th, Burden Bear 9th, Kitchen Maker 10th, Noakes Blue 11. Northeast has just been terrific all day, has spiked up a bit now, but the title provisionally belongs to Smeg. Tomorrow, the final heat, they'll come out and do the victory lap, you'd think. It's going to be quite fresh, we believe. Could be up to 30 knots at times, but could be certainly thrills and spills. So, Tim Robinson, firstly to you, thank you. I hope you've enjoyed it. We've certainly enjoyed having you here.
It's been a classic 18-foot skiff day on Sydney Harbour. Very much enjoyed being here and really great to watch.
Maybe you could be one of those young blokes that gets a skiff next year, Tim.
You never know.
You never know, okay.
Yeah, COVID does strange things.
That's right. Andrew Buckland, as usual, very insightful. Thank you very much. We look forward to your company tomorrow. Jimmy Bury on the camera cat, skipper, wonderful again. A lot of work to do to dodge the fleet out here, the yachts and lasers and what have you. Wonderful performance in this marvellous boat of yours, to Michael Chittenden and the Piers and the boys with the drones. Great coverage. I hope you've enjoyed it. We'll see you tomorrow. This is Peter Shipway signing off from Sydney Harbour.